Thank you for joining me. Jake, you sound great as well. You look great. Mikey, LFG. Hello, everyone. Oh, Mike Hooter, and of course, Rob Deerdick back in the house. Thank you. Thursdays. Nick moving today. Lori Burns and Christina Madrigal, welcome. Craig Siegel, I watched your video, so make sure you call me today. I watched Craig's speech, and he was rocking and rolling. I'm going to pin up here where to reach me. So david@dmeltzer.com. So any of the templates that I may mention, or my book, ebook, audiobook, or you want me to sign a book, send it to you and pay for shipping. And the book, not a problem. david@dmeltzer.com. You can see my text number as well right here. Maybe we should put like a space here, and so the phone number is on the same line. That would look better. Anyway, welcome everybody. It is Thankful Thursdays. Hey Zeus, good morning. Hope you're feeling better as well. Thank you. Here we go. We talked about you in Clubhouse today. Oh, thank you for talking about me. Advice for getting someone to call me back. I have a template, call me back template. 80% of the time, people don't call you back, DM you back, email you back. And so if we can increase and focus on getting people to get back to us, statistically, we'll change our success exponentially. Without getting better at transitioning interest, without getting better at sharing a vision, even without getting better at managing and developing that vision, getting people to call you back is a superpower. It's something that I train. It's something I have a template for. There's only two things that can happen when you send a request out to someone. Either one, they answer, or two, they don't. How many times a day are you practicing how to get them to answer, to get back to you? How many times are you practicing that? Because 80% of the time they don't. If you're going to leave a message, right? How to leave a message. It's in that template, right? There's only one thing and one goal and one objective of leaving a message. Get back to me. You don't have to sell, teach, learn, inspire on a message. There's only one purpose of a message, and that's to get someone to call you back. All right. Very good. Reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you want that template on how to get people to call you back. Increase exponentially your statistical success by getting people to call you back. Where should I get my first job if I'm not going to college? I have a career group to help people transition careers, start careers, get their jobs. Join me, david@dmeltzer.com. Join our group. We'll be happy to help you with your career. All right, let me see who else is in here. Thank you so much, everyone, for putting these questions in. Is there anything that you still struggle forgiving yourself for? Yes, every day, right? I forgive myself for being in ego-based consciousness. I forgive myself for having a need to be offended, a need to be separate, a need to be inferior, a need to be superior, angry, anxious, frustrated, guilty, resentful. I forgive myself for all the different things that I may have unintentionally done to hurt others. And I forgive myself for anything, even in the past, that I intentionally did to hurt others out of ego, out of fear, out of projection. I forgive so much every day. I just spend minutes and moments in that ego-based consciousness. Use forgiveness, the stop, drop, and roll methodology in order to effectuate clearing that interference to what we want. All righty, let's see here. Keep the questions rolling. Have you added anything to your daily routine lately? Well, for me, stretching is now a daily activity. It was included in my minimum of an hour a day on my health, but it has been added in there and has had a remarkable difference in making me feel good. I'm a big stretch fan now. So anyway, all right, let's get our first guest here as Jakey, who's our first guest, reaching out to me. Can you just comment, Jake, as hey, Ian K, is that you? Jake Gagey, good morning, good morning. One Source Provider, is that my friend? Yep, there we go. I found it. All right, here we go. We're going to go Abdallah, Vice President and CEO of One Source Provider. Hey, what's going on?
David, how are you?
I am doing so well. I'm so excited to come see you in Chicago, August 7th. Give us a little bit of background on the One Sports Advisor National Conference and what you guys are doing.
Well, we're excited to have you. We're looking forward to seeing you there with all of our one source provider, our OSP family. We're celebrating 10 years of our anniversary. Of course, one source provider, we started off in marketing, which is right down your alley. And then we got into sports management recently, represent a lot of, high-end athletes. And then, of course, we have our OSP Health Labs, which is a full service laboratory, and we were doing a lot of about 60,000 COVID tests a month during the height of the pandemic. But we're looking forward to having you come in and speak. And our team, we're going to have hundreds and hundreds of guys there, and of course our guest speaker. Aside from you, of course, we have the living legend Mike Tyson will be joining us as well. So we'll be looking forward
Is
to
it
all of
true
that.
that we're going? Is it true that me and Mike are going pay-per-view? Kind of a
Well,
little Jake Paul action.
yeah.
Are we doing that?
I did offer it to him. I don't think he's ready at this time. He's got look at you, man. You're ready to go.
I've been training for him, man. I've been friends with Mike for years. He knows I'm coming at him, and he
Yeah.
just knows he wants a bigger payday. He said, as soon as my following's as big as Jake Paul, that he's in all the way with me.
No, Mike's great, and he's great to be around. And having icons like him, like you, on stage for our team to learn from and to go through, your whole career, everything you've been through, the ups, the downs, the challenges, the success. That's tremendous, and that's really what OSP and One Source Provider stands for. So we're looking forward to having you. It's next weekend,
Yeah, man, it's
August
gonna be
7th.
incredible. And Mike's up and down story as well. And then who you remind me of is a young Lou Weisbach. Do you know who that is in
No,
Chicago?
no,
Remember Halo, the company Halo? They were on the
yeah,
backdrops of the
of course,
Bulls and the
sure,
Cubs. Yeah, Lou
sure,
Weisbach took them to over $1 billion. The same kind of deal. Started out in the marketing side of things, and he's still around there in Chicago. Kind of a legend in sports marketing. Good guy though, and I know that OSP is just 10 years in. It's just
yeah.
going to exponentially grow because you're open mind. Now you know are also a world champion. A lot
I
of
am.
people, and I thought coming from an undefeated kickboxing world champion yourself, a lot of people that are successful outside the ring, outside the court, outside the field, they bring a lot of what they learned inside of the
Sure.
ring outside. And I know Mike himself, myself, although I'm not at the level of you and Mike Tyson, although I'm coming at you, Mike Tyson. Listen to me right now. I know you're afraid to see me again, but I'm coming at you, buddy. Anyway, what are some of the key things that you brought into the business that you learned from being a world champion?
Well, great question. And having, just that sports mentality and just the will to win, that's really the most important part of any business. Just being persistent, just having that tenacity, because in business there's always ups and downs, and a lot of people see just the luxuries of being a business owner, the successes of somebody being a business owner, whether it's setting their own schedule, having the freedom of time, or whatever it may be. But what so many oversee and lack to really understand and appreciate is the same thing that a fighter does. You see him in the ring with his hands raised and the belt's over and the ring card girls are around him and his entourage, but you don't know the hours and the weeks and the months and the years and the blood and the sweat and the tears that have went in the gym and the injuries and everything that have come back. And we've overcome those things so that we could achieve that pinnacle that the whole world sees for that 1 to 10 minutes of fame in front of millions and millions of people. But they don't. But the backstory is not filmed. So it's the same thing with business, and that. People see, oh wow, here's David, Meltzer, and he's got this, and he's got this, and he's got that. But what you don't see is how many times were you kicked in the teeth and put down and lost and went back and adversity and trials and tribulations and all of that to get to where you are. So I think having that mentality and have gone through that is what can give you the absolute best positioning. And mind you, when we for success, when we look for our talent, we look for our new directors, we always ask for sports-minded individuals because they understand that aspect and they can see and value that area of business.
One thing we also share, and I think you look for in your organization and people around you, is faith. And, you know, faith sometimes separates us, and we both grew up in different faiths that sometimes, you know, people would perceive as being separate from one another. That's not my philosophy of any faith. And I believe faith brings us all together. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of yours and appreciate, you know, the
Thank you.
mutual love that we share with
Likewise.
everyone. But faith for me is so important. And, you know, I'm encouraged by your faith and the faith of your organization and the people that are around you. How do you incorporate faith into the business setting? Because I know for me, it's a huge part of my business, and for you, it is as well.
Well, 100%. You know, and I appreciate that, David, and that's a two-way street. The when at the end of the day, you know, you have different areas of your life. You have the business, which is the finances. You have the opportunity. You have the relationships. You have the adversity. But all of them alone can really go into 4 or 5 different areas. But what ties them all together and gives you one direction is your faith. My father, rest his soul, he passed 4 months ago. Yesterday. One of the
Sorry.
things that I've learned from him, thank you. One of the things that I learned from him, he was a very successful businessman. He owned 8 McDonald's restaurants before he
Oh
retired.
man, I wish I would have known him when he's alive. That's my favorite restaurant. How are you in such good shape when your dad owned a McDonald's?
Man,
My wife's family owned liquor stores. I'm like, why couldn't they own McDonald's, man?
it was tough, man. I would go through training camps, you know, and you have unlimited McDonald's food. But I grew up on McDonald's. Um, but one
Yeah,
of the things
see,
that he
Happy
taught me,
Meals. That's all Happy Meal right there. That's all a Happy Meal.
that's it. One of the things that he taught me early on was, you know, always having that integrity and always going back to your faith, regardless of the opportunity. And mind you, I didn't always listen, and I've had my own trials and tribulations that I've gone through myself. But and I remember he had, you know, such opportunity, but his faith kept him aligned with the direction that he headed in. And that's important, man. You know, at the end of the day, we're all here. We're all trying the same thing. Everybody's trying to rise. Everybody's trying to grind. Everybody's trying to get on top. But if you don't keep yourself, you know, we call it in boxing a chin check. If you don't get that chin checked every once in a while, you become, you know, unhumble and off that course. But I think that's where your faith comes in, is it keeps you in line. It keeps you saying, wait, you can't do that. And mind you, that goes for your personal relationships also. You know, my wife, thank God, and we've been married now for 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. Make sure she's not watching. 9 years. And and of course there's going to be disagreements and, you know, different areas of, you know, of thought process. But at the end of the day, we go back to one faith and say, you know what? This is the way that we should be doing it. So regardless of our own personal perceptions, your faith keeps you aligned. And you touched on a very important area that, you know, sometimes religion causes conflicts. At the end of the day, you know, we're all going to the same place. Some people might take an escalator, some people might take an elevator, some people might take the stairs, but we're all trying to go to the same place. So if anything, we should all be united over religion. And our best employees are always, and I'm open to say this, and I'm proud to say it, are faith-based employees. You know, they're faith-based directors. So I think
I
that's
love
important.
that. I love that. I tell people all the time, I believe all religions are here to unite us, not separate us. And if any religion isn't here to unite us, or a person of faith does not understand that we're one and we
Yeah,
should all be of service to each other, I think they're missing the point. I will tell you, I love chin check, man. I love that concept. I've been married 23 years, soon to be 24,
good
and
for you.
nobody has chin checked me more in my life than my wife. Sometimes I get a right hook and a jab too, but the chin checks come often to keep me humble, which is so
Right.
important. All right, tricky last question.
Let's go.
You don't have to get too much, but I'm just curious because I'm having a struggle. Uh, the women gymnast, the mental health issue.
Yeah,
I appreciate mental health issues. I
sure,
spend a ton of time helping people with mental health issues. I donate
sure.
money. I donate time.
Good for you.
As a professional athlete, though, you know, we have to we can't wait till the Olympics, you know, to have like to me it's hard for me to fathom, like, where are the mindset coaches that are, you talk about preparation, right? Where are these mindset coaches that are building and strengthening, you know, these young women and young athletes to be prepared for the biggest championship of their life?
Yeah,
And I'm a little concerned that our Olympic team isn't preparing our athletes correctly, because that's not just a one-time issue. I mean, we should be on top of mental health the whole time that they're preparing. This time it was 5 years they've been preparing.
sure.
Uh, So I, as a world champion yourself, is there something that I'm on, the Olympic board? I'm around this stuff all the time. I'm just concerned as a board member, where or how did we miss not preparing the mental mindset side of these girls?
Okay, good question. So that's a double-sided sword, right? You have the one
Yeah.
side of it, which is what you're saying, is how can we not hold coaches accountable? How can we not have the infrastructure for mental health training, for any kind of psychological training? Because that's very important. When the lights turn on, and I always relate it back to boxing, when you're under those lights, a different mindset comes in, and the amount of nerves, just the pressure that comes on, it's a mounting amount of responsibility. That's one side of the sword. The other side of the sword is mental health is a real thing. I've had an athlete that was on the biggest stage in the world, David. I'm talking about the biggest fight of the year. And because of mental health issues, we had to scale him back because of just personal things that he was going through. And this is an elite athlete. And you've seen it now, even with boxing. So I'm really indecisive about whether or not it's coaching or if mental health is a bigger problem than we even anticipate it to be for these young men and women. Now, I know, I think it was Simone Biles, one that's had the recent issue. Big stages are not alien to her. That's not something that she's, new to. She's not a rookie. That is a normal stage. And from what I believe, it's not her first Olympics, right? She's been around a while. So there must have been an underlying issue that they failed to see, they failed to understand and maybe even diagnose, or maybe she never told anybody. It's a double-sided sword. It's a very tricky, fine line to step in. Do you hold the coaches accountable, or do you kind of just, have that empathetic and sympathetic feeling for the athlete that, man, it's a big stage. There's a guy that I'm telling you, this in Las Vegas where I live. He goes into the gym, Dave, and he whoops everybody in the gym. I'm talking about I've seen him stop world champions in the gym. But when he gets under those lights, time to perform, he's got a 500 record. Because he just can't perform under lights. There's a lot to be said about that. So he doesn't understand whether, and I can't understand, and I can't relate. Like, man, how are you whooping these guys inside of the gym? How are you beating these guys inside of the gym? But when it counts, when it matters, when your livelihood's on the stake, when your reputation's on the stake, when your record is on stake, you can't perform. It's so tricky, and there's those two levels.
It has to be both, right? I think it's a little both. And, just like your dad's passing probably shifted your mindset and your emotional status 4 months ago. And if you had a fight, or look at Tiger Woods, the first time he ever, missed the cut was when his dad passed you. So I can see that side as well. And, but I did with Simone, it's like she's been to so many, big world championships. It was just surprising that, that would reveal itself. But it's such a tricky thing. The 6 inches here are so incredible. And, I do want to give a shout out to one of my first friends, best friends, because you were talking about that guy that whipped everyone. I always called one of my best friends, his name's Larry Jekyll. He was the world's best practice kicker. I swear to God, he was better
practice
than Sebastian
kicker.
Yeah. He was the best. He could kick a 61-yarder. The guy had legs that were amazing.
Wow.
But the minute he lined up on the field, I called him, crossbar Larry, because he could hit the crossbars every time. Or
when it mattered. When it mattered.
Exactly. He's amazing. He's probably going to call me now and go, dude, why'd you embarrass me 50 years later? That's a good friend. That's what I do. Anyway, I can't wait to get you better. I can't wait to hang out with you in Chicago. Tell Mike I'm coming at him. He knows I am. I've been talking about it for years. We flew back from Miami together one time, and I told him I'm going to kick his butt. Nice. So here's my chance. We make sure the cameras are on, though. We can get some serious content.
Oh, yeah, it'll definitely be rolling. Mike's a very interesting individual. And a lot of people don't know this about Mike Tyson, but you may, because you know him on a personal level, is, people look at him as the savage, the knockout artist. But Mike is one of the most in-depth, deep thinkers, very much so. There's so many quotes that I've taken from Mike personally, off camera, alone, separately, that I still use every single day. And he's phenomenal when it comes to that. So getting you guys both together at the conference is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, well, you're phenomenal. Congratulations on 10 years of success.
Thank you.
I had rearranged everything because all the people that have surrounded you are friends of mine as well. And I'm like, I got to go to this thing and I have to meet you.
I
So Amir,
appreciate it.
I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to hanging out. I'll see you. I think I'm coming in Thursday, so I'll get to see
Yeah,
you. And
I appreciate it, David. Likewise.
thank for including me. Check
Yes,
him
sir.
out, Amir
Thank you.
Abdallah, World Championship at Team Abdallah and
Thank you.
myosp.com. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Dave. Take care. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right,
All
brother.
right, I'll be there next week. What an honor to do keynotes with Mike Tyson and Amir. Check them out, OSP, myosp.com, and the one sports provider, sports entertainment CEO, Amir Abdallah. He is amazing. And of course, he is the undefeated kickboxing retired world champion as undefeated. And he does just, what a good guy. That's all I got to say. Let's surround ourselves with the right people, the right idea. So let's take some questions here. We are having a great time. Michaela, let's see if you have a question for us. Michaela Johnson and at Michaela Renee, co-author of The Higher Level Method. There she is. Michaela, how are you?
Go. I'm so good. How are you?
I am so good as well. I'm better now that you're here. Thank you for joining me.
I am loving this whole chin checked idea. I've actually started flying lessons. I recently just soloed in a 1947 Super Cruiser, which is a tail wheel. And I've been chin checked like more times than I can really count.
That I loved it too. I'll be using that. People like David stole that from Amir. Abdallah will be coming after me, chin checking me for stealing his great quotes.
Right.
But I, love pursuing my potential and my entire existence about enjoying that consistent, persistent pursuit. And you yourself have really based your book and your life off of kind of leveling up, the higher level method that you've created, how to master your business and life goals, very similar to many other things out there. What are some of the, nuances of your methodology of leveling up to a higher level? Oh, I think she's blocked her me. Is that my side or hers?
Ooh, I don't think it's mine. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
So the higher level method is actually an anthology of a bunch of authors who are basically raising thought above the I can'ts. And in my personal life, I find that it's really important that we're constantly asking ourselves, am I doing this for someone else or am I doing this for myself? Am I speaking my truth with grace? Am I finding happiness and realizing that it's a constant reset? I think the important thing to remember is that we're always going to come up against these challenges. We're always going to have things in our lives that are going to pump the brakes and bring us to a full stop. And it's how we bounce back from them. It's how we tap into resiliency and move forward. That's what's most important.
And, pain itself, setbacks, failures, mistakes, seem to deter us. And our ego then creates interference that tells us to quit. And I think quitting is the worst disease that the human existence has. How, in what perspective do you give those pain, setbacks, failures? For me, I have my own methodology and perspective. For you, what is your perspective when, life hands you lemons?
So I'm a psychotherapist by trade. So my belief is that, it's okay to take a minute or two and say, you know what, I'm going to stress out on this. I'm going to be upset about this. I'm going to be hurt, angry, sad, cry, scream, do whatever I need to do, kick and punch for 5-10 minutes. And then I'm going to stop and say, what's productive about this? Like I need to find some positivity in this, some lesson, and I need to move forward. So I think honoring yourself is number one. It's important to say, it's okay to feel the way that I'm feeling because without the dark, there isn't the light, so it's okay to have kind of that polarization in the moment and feel it, honor it, and then ask yourself, okay, well, what good does it do to stew in this, to ruminate, and is it helping me?
Yeah, I'm a minutes and moments person. I like to take minutes and moments to process it, stop, drop, and roll from there to the right trajectory, knowing my what, my who, my how, my now, and my why. All right. Anyway, you have a question for me? Oh, she's breaking up.
I think that the biggest question that I have for you is how is
It's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How can we train our mind to achieve our successes?
Yeah. So coming from a psychotherapist, what an honor it is to be asked that question. So thank you. Um, we do train our mind. And for me, I use time to train my mind, knowing that my thoughts are so powerful that they're faster than the speed of light, that they're faster than time itself, and that we all live within the construct of 24 hours of activity. And so how are we going to train the speed of thought is another way to look at the way we think, or the things that are manifested from the way we think. The activities, the actions that we take are all manifested from the thoughts that we have. And what we see, the meaning we give it is all manifested from the thoughts that we have. And I think a lot of people dismiss time in the context of practicing the mindset. So I'm a huge fan of daily practices in order to train the mind. And the daily practices that I've incorporated, and I share them with everyone, is a practice of knowing your what every day, taking inventory of your values, what you want personally, experientially, giving wise, what do you want to produce? And most importantly, receiving wise, because you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
You know, when you're getting nothing, soon you'll be able to give nothing. And so you got to be able to ask and live in radical humility for help and for value from others. So know your what. And once you know your what, the fastest way to your what is know your who. And when I say that, it's a duality of knowing who can help you, meaning someone that sits in the situation that you want to be in, can give you directions is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. But also, even more powerful, who you can help with your what. So the duality of who in your life is affected by your what that day as you take inventory, then you can figure out your how. And I have tons of pragmatic methodologies on how, just old business training and sense and dummy tax and situational knowledge. And then most importantly, and you'll know this as a psychotherapist, I say know your now. And in psychotherapy, they'll talk about being present and, you know, all these woo-woo types of things a lot of times that people get scared off of. I'm very pragmatic. Knowing your now is the ability to prioritize the activities of your day. So if you can prioritize by your what, your who, and your how, prioritize what you want to do now. Eisenhower wrote, you know, a great matrix of importance versus urgency. Well, how do we know what's important to us if we're not taking inventory of our what, our who, and our how? So prioritization, 100% of the things you do now get done. The difference between passionate, purposeful, and profitable people is that they get things done. And then finally, the fifth daily practice is applying your why, which is what we talked about. You know, pain's going to be a turn signal. It's going to be a propellant, propelling you to something better. If you take a moment to stop, let it process, drop down to neutral, and then move back to your what, your how, your what, who, how, and now, you'll be much more efficient, effective, and statistically successful. But you'll be training the most powerful thing, the thing that moves faster than the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. That's how fast light moves. So that's how fast time moves. If you want to move faster than time and have the power behind you of the source, the light, the love, and the lessons, then use time, use your thoughts in order to effectuate what you want. Thank you so much, Michaela. Come back and we'll get even a better connection and a better conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's broken up. Check her out, though, her new book. If you want to level up in your life, The Higher Level Method, thehigherlevelmethod.com. Success stories on how to master your business and life goals. An amazing book. Came out April. Check it out. You'll love it. And from a person with credibility. Awesome. Thank you, Bree. I don't understand when people come onto an IG to listen and then ask you to be quiet. If you'd like to call me, Bree, obviously you have some anger issues. I'd love to help you. 858-688-3294. Those my real cell phone. So Bree's on here and asking me to shut up, which I don't understand why you would come on my IG. Why don't you call me so we can work through those issues for you? I'm here to be of service and to help you. So I pray for your happiness, my friend. Thank you for joining us. But we will want all to be positive here and work together as collaborative happiness people. And that's my intention. If you want to go to a different room or a different place, I appreciate that as well. Awesome. All right, where am I time-wise? Stacy Moore Oh boy, I love Stacy, man. Stacy's here. All right, hold on. Let me find. I, there we go. The commish here. Stacy Moore is here. Oh God, this is so cool. I haven't talked to Stacy in a while. The American Cornhole League. I'm a big fan on ESPN through COVID. There he is. What's going on?
How's it going?
Oh my God, man! Keep me in mind. This league is growing. I'm practicing. How
Thank
are you?
Good, good. I'm sitting in our brand new world headquarters right now. So,
Oh, right on. Where's the new headquarters?
it's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I can walk around and show you some shots if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that. If anyone doesn't know, the American Cornhole League has been just armed with a 3-year deal on ESPN. It's the fastest growing sport on ESPN. I know that as well. And it's so much fun to play. Anybody can play, kind of like esports, but it's just a community experience, both visually. Oh, wow. You ain't messing around.
No, we got 13,500 square feet, 13 sets of cornhole boards, our executive offices, and a production studio we're putting in over here.
Oh my God! Well, you guys got to come out. I'm going to be at the Win. We're announcing a licensing deal with Blue Wire, so I'll be doing my podcast at the Win. We're gonna have to coordinate together and get this thing some promotion. This is incredible.
It's our studio, so you got to come join us on the red couch.
Oh, I'm coming. That's a given. Jakey Bakey's in the house. Get me scheduled. I'm coming to South Carolina. That is amazing. That's so cool. Tell me about the deal you did with ESPN yourself.
Yeah, so we've got in the middle of a 5-year run with ESPN, and we've got our World Championships coming up next week. We do 4 national events plus our World Championships, and we do the National College Cornhole Championship all on ESPN.
It's amazing. How many people total now are participating in American Cornhole League?
So we've got around 125,000 people right now playing.
That is so good. Are you going to incorporate a tailgate league? That's an idea that I had, that we get matched up with the NFL alumni or the NFLPA, and we do a tailgate league, an NCAA tailgate league. Now that we can pay players, we can get to all the colleges. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, we've actually had some college players actually hitting us up, asking us for some sponsor money under that new program. And speaking of the NFL, we actually are doing a pretty cool ACL celebrity throwdown as part of the World Championships. So a week from Friday on Ocho Day on ESPN, we're going to have Marty Smith and Ryan McGee, plus Jonathan Stewart and Mike Tolbert, are all going to be playing with ACL pros, throwing it down to have a lot of fun.
Oh man, well, keep me on your celebrity list or B-lister, because I'm a huge cornhole fan, and love watching it too. So if you can't play, I'd love to come and watch anytime. Bring my crew of content with me. Now, you've established kind of the rules and regulations, which I think make a difference. A lot of people play, but they really hadn't thought about a system or a way, the real rules. How much has that affected the growth of the game, that people have, more of an idea of, what the rules are to playing cornhole?
Yeah, that was one of the big keys for us, is that we actually created our own software in addition to kind of formalizing the rules. People were playing by a lot of different rules. So now that we have our own software that basically powers all the matches and the stats for our sport, we got the same set of rules. So we don't play the bust rule. That's one of the most common things. People play bust rule out there in the backyard. We do not play the bust rule. So the 21 or more and the game's over.
And the prize money has grown and grown and grown. I think you're at over $1 million or $1 million for the championship.
Yeah, we've actually given out over $3 million this year to cornhole players across the country.
And then, I'm really curious about licensing. I've worked with the PBA, and, to be able to have that, kind of official cornhole signifier on different equipment, boards, etc. Because, there's a lot of companies that use cornhole boards, as billboards, as marketing tools. As you have, 25,000 participants. You can imagine it's such a great branding tool. I'm a marketing guy. Is there the official licensed ACL kit that you can buy?
Yeah, so we actually have 3 different levels of equipment that we license. So we have ACL Pro, ACL Competitive, and ACL Rec. So when you're out there buying cornhole equipment, you want to look for those marks so that you know what you're getting. So too often, a lot of people will walk into Walmart and pick up a cornhole set and think that's what people are using on ESPN. But when you walk into Walmart, you'll see an ACL Rec board, which is for recreational purposes only, not competitive play. But still a great way to get started with the game. But we wanted to make sure that everyone out there knows the level of equipment that they're getting, and so that's why we have those 3 different designations.
And where can people sign up for the league and start competing? Because, the sport is for any age, any skill level. And do you have at iPlayCornhole.com a registration, or are there other places to go to?
Yeah, iPlayACL.com or iPlayCornhole.com. Both of those work. And then you can always find us on social media.
And how good are you at cornhole?
I'm not very good. I'm not very good.
You work too much?
It depends on how many beers I've had, right? If I've had about 4 beers, my game gets pretty good. If I get 8, then my game is really bad. It's about as bad as being sober. So
that's the way for me. Cornhole, pool, darts, and golf. There's like this hyperbole of sober is no good for me. 4 beers, 3-4 beers is a scratch golfer, great pool player, and then unfortunately I after 3 or 4 beers I continue on, and then there's a diminishing return on the consumption of our social sparklers that we share together, which when I come see you, I definitely want to play you and get some content one-on-one. We'll have an 8-beer limit. We'll both have drivers. We'll see little one-on-one, me against you. We'll get some great content. I'll put up the prize. I'll put up the prize purse, maybe a couple cases of beer and a signed jersey from somebody. Well, I'll figure out some good prizes. What do you think?
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, cool. And then we'll start establishing the one-on-one competition like they did in poker, where like those $1 million players would play each other, in poker, one-on-one poker, like these high rollers. You and I will be the first ones. We'll have these little side bets, and then everybody will do like the celebrity Jake Paul versus McGregor. It'll be perfect. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea.
All right. Well, let's plan on me coming to South Carolina. When's the championship? Where can people watch it on ESPN?
So next week we've got the ACL World Championships going on. Our broadcast starts Friday night at 8 o'clock, and then that's the Ocho Day, the celebrity event, and then Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. you'll be able to check out our singles and doubles World Finals.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to start getting on the list. Make sure you register for next season. Register in all 3 levels. Go out to your local retailer. They're all over the place. Buy the official cornhole. Football season starting. They have all types of great branded cornhole sets for you at all levels. It's one of the funnest games, most social, collaborative, community-based games for anyone. So you can play with your kids. You can play with your college buddies. You can play with your grandparents. It's an amazing game, and I appreciate people like you that stuck to it and are appreciating the multi-million-dollar success that you're having. Keep with it. I'm going to come visit. You and I are going to do a lot of business together, okay?
Awesome, Dave. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me on. Anyone can play and anyone can win.
You got it. I love it. Thank you so much, man. Take care. Stacy Moore at American Cornhole League. iPlayACL.com, iPlayCornhole.com. I'll see you in South Carolina. I'm going to watch you on TV this next weekend, so thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, Stace. He's amazing. I love cornhole. If you haven't tried it, look it up at American Cornhole League. iPlayCornhole.com, iPlayACL.com. You can register. They got some 7-figure players on there. Well, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be giving the Junior Achievement Impact Award winner from 2-Minute Drill on Bloomberg tomorrow night. Training tomorrow is at 6 a.m. Pacific time Ask me anything. You bring the questions, I'll bring the answers on Clubhouse, IG. Register with over 50,000 people registered for training. Please join me. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, for any of the things that we talked about. David@dmeltzer.com for anything that we talked about. Joseph Storzinger, good to see you as well. We're going to feature Francis Prado today, inventor of the hanging secrets. I'm going to take one more question, then we'll all go over and meet there on the JA Worldwide. Favorite Olympic summer sport to watch? I hate to be a homer, but basketball. Man, I love watching Olympic basketball. And it doesn't matter if America wins or not. Women's basketball 3-on-3 was awesome last night as well. So I just love the backstory, the B-roll of all the competitive athletes. Yes, you can contact me, david@dmeltzer.com. So please reach out, david@dmeltzer.com. People are asking. All right, everyone, come join me on JA Worldwide, Junior Achievement 2-minute drill. We're giving the JA Impact Award. If you haven't caught the TV show, it's on Bloomberg on Friday nights. Check it out on Bloomberg. You can get it there, or Amazon Prime Video. Most importantly, everyone, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thanks so much. Take care.